Good evening, everyone, and
Good
it's nice
evening.
to see all of you here. Wonderful, and I'm so pleased that you're all here. Today is a day of learning what it means to cultivate self acceptance, right? So, can anybody tell me what they understand by self acceptance?
Accepting our everything, like if we are kind of angry person or we are mean, selfish in sometimes, not always, but we accept that part of ours also. That
Yes,
yes, I can be this and it's okay.
yeah, very good. Anyone
And
else?
also accepting our flaws or our limitations as human. We will make
Absolutely,
mistakes, we will fall down. We have our
absolutely,
limitations to accept that humanness.
yes. What else? Keep talking. You know, this is not a one-way dialogue. Keep talking. Yes?
Yeah, ma'am. They said, I think accepting both your positive and negative traits
Mhm.
and okay with it. It's complete
Absolutely.
acceptance. Yeah, that's what.
Absolutely. Wonderful. So we do understand what self-acceptance means. It is acknowledging and embracing your true self. It includes your strengths, your weaknesses, your values, your experiences, your everything without judgment or any conditions. That is self acceptance. But that involves a lot of things. It means you have to recognize your worth and value as a person. Do we do that? Sometimes we don't do it, right? It means learning to embrace our uniqueness and learning to embrace and, accept our individuality. Sometimes we have a tendency that we want to be like others, like someone, or emulate them or copy them. Copycats are never good. You can still be your original self. You can be your authentic self. And that is by accepting whatever you have either as a grace or even as a fault. I'll give you an example. I read recently about a lady who is been a burn victim. And she was a burn victim since a small age, not by some, man throwing acid or something. And her whole face was completely burnt. So she grew up with that. She was, hated in school. Nobody wanted to be friends with her. People used to tease her. People used to make fun of her. So all that she tolerated through her life. But there came a point that it became too much. What did she do? She excelled in her studies. She excelled in the arts, in what she liked to do. And then she went on to realize that she would like to give back to the world a kind of gift. That is, she decided to become and learn makeup. Now imagine on a burnt face where the eyes are different, the shape of the lips are different, the whole face looks different. What did she do? She learned the art of makeup and she started posting her videos on Instagram. She would show her face and then she would do the makeup and show people what she looked like. And she got so much of praise and so much of acceptance, so much of love, so much of, dignity from people unknown in the world. So what does that mean? Basically, it means that, okay, this has happened with me. There has been a trauma. There has been a tragedy. My life has not been easy, but I am not going to, let that become my reason for existence. So she accepted herself and she became, and she is very popular on Insta and other things. She has, I don't know how many lakhs of followers. So imagine becoming a person of encouragement. So learn to be your, accept your individuality. And we have to let go of all self criticism, negative talk that we keep doing to ourselves. Not needed. It's not needed at all. When we start loving ourselves, then the acceptance for everything becomes much easier. Practicing compassion and kindness towards self and others. Do we do that? Do we? Give me answers. Anybody? We don't. We sometimes, fall short of it in terms of being compassionate. Now, in self-acceptance, there's another thing, to accept our emotions and our vulnerability. We are not above our emotions and vulnerability. We can learn to live with them. We can learn to overpower those emotions that make us feel weak, mentally, emotionally, physically, and we can make vulnerability our strength. Now, somebody might say, how can you make vulnerability your strength? It is by being very honest. It is by presenting honesty in your behavior. If you made a mistake, it's okay if you tell someone that I'm sorry, I made a mistake. Or if you don't know something, and then you can tell people, I'm sorry, I don't know this. If you know it, you can help me understand it. So self-acceptance leads to people accepting you, society accepting you, environment accepting you. I'll give you my example. When I was working and I was posted to Germany. Now, Germany, the language is different. You don't speak the language, you don't know it. And when I went there at that time, it was not important to know, nobody knew so much of English. So everywhere I would make an effort to use my broken learning of German and try and put across what I am saying. So people would keenly listen that what is she trying to say? And they were very helpful. Now, as a community, there is a perception that Germans are very cold, very single-minded, very to the point, and they like to keep to themselves. But when I went to work, I would be very open about it. I'm sorry, I don't know this. How do I do this? Where can I find this? How do I search for a home? What are the things that I need to do? What happened? Everybody came forward to help me and said, "Okay, we'll help you. They literally made the living and life in Germany when I started absolutely easy. I had my colleagues, from India who would say it's very difficult to live here. We can't live here. It's so difficult. So I said, why? So he said, colleague said that, I'm living in this apartment and the um, landlord is saying that vacate it. He does not like, that we are staying there because he says there's too much of smell coming from your house. Now, please understand, you are in a different country and they are not used to those smells, those fragrances and the masalas and our spices. He was with his family. So I asked him, I said, okay, and they do not have, like these chimneys and hobs in a smaller towns. They don't have that. So the landlord was very parishan and they said, you have to leave. So I said, what else is happening? He says, there is, seepage happening in their house. So I said, okay, and what are you doing? So they said that nothing, we wash our clothes in the bathroom and he's saying, don't wash your clothes there. Then I asked him, I said, how are you doing it? Your wife? So he said that, she is doing it on the floor because there is no washing machine. So she's washing the clothes in a tub and, on the floor. So I told them, I said, do you realize these houses do not have bricks? They are made of insulated material only. So when there's water, it's naturally going to go through the floor and everything into their house. I said, why can't she sit in the bathtub and wash her clothes? So his immediate reaction was, how can I do that? How can she do that? I said, of course she can do that. This is not your country. This is their way of living. You have to adjust. And it is simpler to wash the clothes in the bathtub. You can throw as much water as you want and nothing will happen. So he said, okay. And I said, in terms of cooking, the gentleman and his wife leave the house at, let's say, 8 o'clock in the morning. Why can't you ask your wife to cook the lunch and dinner, vegetables or whatever in the morning with all the windows open so that there's no smell? And only in the evening she should cook fresh rice and fresh rotis or whatever else. So he said, okay, I'll tell her. So they started doing that and everything went fine. Now this is accepting the ways of the country. So what happened? You started accepting it. You made it your priority. You made your vulnerability your strength because you were feeling vulnerable. How am I going to look for a house? Where am I going to go? I have a small baby, blah, blah, blah. So what did they do? They accepted that part of it and life was easy. And in fact, they invited their landlords for dinners also later who accepted them and their needs as different from their own needs. Similarly, if we keep looking at ourselves, accepting all our not so nice parts also, but working on them, being honest about what is not there or what is there, and making it a journey which is very, very helpful, you are then able to help others who follow your path. Any thoughts till now? Any questions? One thing we should not do is try to be very perfect or flawless. That's not possible. None of us can be flawless. And if you have a certain standard of achievement, stay with it. Don't try to boast about it or don't try to be over and above that trying to achieve something more. Because then you are questioning your own self. You are not trusting your own self. Accept where you are, embrace it. Beyond that, when you want to go further, you will find your ways and means to keep growing. And if you've made a mistake, don't deny it. Accept it. हो गई गलती जानबूझ के तो नहीं करता ना कोई. Sometimes it just happens. Accept it. Does it sound too simple? Or does it sound too complicated? Any thoughts on that? Anyone?
Very
Anyone?
simple and easy.
Sorry?
Very simple and easy, which
It
we
is.
forget to use.
Yeah, because what we do, we start judging ourselves, we start judging others. If I tell them now that it was my fault, they are going to say this, they are going to do this, they are going to feel bad, think bad about me. So we bring in all the possible aspects that are not necessary at all.
Yes.
Our
We
ego
think,
comes in, our arrogance comes in, our pride comes in, and then, we think that they are going to be criticizing me, they're going to be judging me. Oh my God, how many barriers do we create?
yeah,
For what?
we think the harder and the complicated things are, the more results we'll get.
Yeah, no, it's not that at all.
No, I'm telling that's the thinking that
Absolutely,
makes us go do things the harder way.
absolutely. You're very right, Sushma. We all do that. But do we need to do it? No. If I don't know something, if I can't do something, or if I'm not, let's say, not trained, but I'm not capable of doing something, it's okay to tell the other person, I'm sorry, मुझे आता नहीं है, या तो you teach me, tell me how to do it. He's not going to turn around and laugh at you, oh, at this age you don't know even how to do this. No, he will respect you for being honest enough to acknowledge that my limitation is still here. Beyond that, help me and I'll do it. And that's what I did all the time in Germany. I never had a problems. And it's well known that Germans don't invite you home. If they have to meet you, they'll meet you, in a pub or restaurant or something, they never invite you home. And weekends are totally for family. I stayed there for 4 years, and every weekend of those 4 years, I was with my German friends, either traveling outside the city or within the city. And all my Indian friends used to ask me, how do you do it? I said, I don't do anything. I'm just honest and I'm just, absolutely open and frank. I learned how to, okay, I'm sharing it on this platform, how to, drink certain drinks. I had no idea. And to share a very funny story, I didn't know at that time, what espresso coffee meant. Today, all of you know it. उस जमाने में नहीं होता था. So I had gone for a discussion with my boss. And we were sitting in this restaurant, and after our meal, the person came and asked in German, would you like some coffee? I said, sure. So I wanted to be very smart and say, espresso. So I said espresso. My boss smiled, okay? And he ordered a cappuccino. Now, for us, earlier times, coffee meant coffee. That's it. And espresso coffee and espresso coffee. And that espresso coffee was from the machine that you see in all the weddings, etc. Correct? So I ordered an espresso and he ordered a cappuccino. So the fellow asked, single or double? I had no idea what he's asking. So I said double. What happened? The coffee came. The coffee came in that smaller cup, okay, espresso. And it was a double shot, so you can imagine how strong it was. I looked at the coffee and I didn't know what I just looked at him, I was puzzled. And the fellow kept the cappuccino in front of my boss. I just looked at his coffee and I looked at mine and I had a very puzzled look on my face. He very sweetly just took my cup and he took, exchanged the cups. He says, this is espresso Aarti, this is Germany, this is not India, where you get that espresso from the machine. I was so embarrassed, but I was very happy. There's something new I learned. I said, thank you so much for your kindness, for understanding that what I am doing is not the correct thing. So it's just not saying that, oh my God, I knew and I thought, maybe making excuses or something. Nothing. Just be yourself. And that gets you a lot of acceptance. And everybody used to wonder, how did you manage to stay there alone and be friends with all the possible Germans, which I did. And they're still friends. I see raised hands. So, yeah, Neha, you have something to say?
Yeah, I had one question to what you said.
Yeah.
Of course, what you said is true, where you say sorry or you say you don't know and you ask and all of those things. But let's say that you've realized a bigger mistake in a relationship, which
Mm-hmm.
is a repeated pattern over time, and suddenly you stand up and you own your mistake.
Mm-hmm.
And then the person does all the things that you said,
Mm.
where they put you down, they'll judge you, they're working from a place of ego, all of those questions. And, these things that you're saying about acceptance that you gave as examples were everyday life bits.
Mm.
But I'm just saying that tomorrow, if I figure out a pattern of myself, which I've
Mm-hmm.
been doing for a while, and the repercussions or consequences, and I say, I'm sorry that it's been doing that, I
Mm-hmm.
own it and I will be more mindful about it. The
Mm-hmm.
person gets up and says, no, you did this, now this, that, and then like a burden of consequences. And you just feel like, why did I even apologize in the first place? I
Mm-hmm.
should have just kept quiet, made the change
Mm-hmm.
by myself, and not said anything.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like the minute you apologize, it's almost like the other person gets the chance to pounce on you and
Mm-hmm.
hold that as a sword against you.
Right. So that happens because there is some entanglement that is involved. And that is at various levels, Neha. Because remember, each person comes with their own story. And their story and their baggage could influence their behavior as your behavior and your story influences your life. So somewhere, sometimes there is a different frequency at which you're operating two people. Okay. So the person has a lot of expectations. So when there are expectations, and when you come forward and say, I'm sorry, or whatever else you accept as your, I won't say mistake, but yeah, a difference of opinion, whatever led to it, this gives the other person the opportunity instead of being wise and having the wisdom to understand that, okay, let's sort it out at a one-to-one level. It gives them a moment to just burst out with whatever else they have been storing. So when they do that, please remember it is their story, not yours. Don't make it your burden, and understand that, okay, fine, she is coming from that space. Let me give him time, let me give her time, and then things will settle down once they start seeing that I am following what I am saying. Once they start doing what I'm, you know, understanding what I'm doing is actually exactly the way that we had wanted for ourselves in a relationship, if it is a relationship. Does that make sense, Neha?
Yes, it does. So I think you're saying that once the change is evident in my behavior,
Yes.
then the other person has more space to be comfortable.
Absolutely. So when you do affirmations with radical and all that we do, like today, it is all about self-acceptance, and we're doing the recitation. So somewhere, some of those statements will resonate with you. You can pick it up and start doing it on your own. And once the shift starts happening within you, there is no reason that the shift around you will not start happening. The shifts happen, and you have to start noticing those subtle changes. Yeah. So
Yeah.
that's the pattern, and everything takes time. But if you're convinced and if you feel it and if you wish to do it, there's no reason for anything or anybody to stop the shift in your life. And that shift could involve many things. So everything would be for your greater good. Keep going.
Okay.
Yeah, Neha?
May I ask one more thing? So
Can I give the others a chance and then come
I
back?
can come back later. Yes,
Yeah,
thank you.
yeah. Keep it with you. I'll answer you.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Thank you.
हाँ जयशंकर जी बताइए.
मैम मैं ये पूछना चाह रहा था कि वनरेबल मतलब एक प्रकार की किसी भी कोई वीकनेस जो हमारे अंदर है उसे एक्सेप्ट करना
हाँ,
और
वल्नरेबल का मतलब ये नहीं होता, वीकनेस नहीं होती. वल्नरेबल का एकदम हिंदी शब्द में नहीं ढूंढ पाऊंगी.
मैंने
ये
निकाला हुआ है भेद्यता, संवेदनशीलता, सुरक्षा की आवश्यकता, नाजुक और सुरक्षा की आवश्यकता.
पहला वाला क्या बोला था आपने?
भेद्यता कि कोई हमें भेदे नहीं, मतलब कोई.
हाँ, और दूसरा?
दूसरा है संवेदनशीलता, सेंसिटिविटी.
हाँ, तो वल्नरेबिलिटी में सेंसिटिविटी भी इन्वॉल्व होती है उसमें. जैसे हर चीज में, जैसे मैंने बताया, मैं जर्मनी गई, मैं बिल्कुल वल्नरेबल थी. ना मुझे भाषा पता, ना वहाँ का खाना पता, ना वहाँ का रहन सहन पता, कुछ नहीं पता था. पर मैंने किसी से छुपाया नहीं, मैंने प्रिटेंड नहीं किया कि अरे मुझे सब आता है. तो गवर्नमेंट ऑफिस में भी जाना होता था, जैसे हम लोग का म्यूनिसिपल कॉर्पोरेशन होता है, वहां पे भी जाके मैंने बड़े ऑनेस्टली बोला कि भैया मुझे नहीं पता, आप मेरी मदद कर दो, और मदद आई. तो व्हेन यू आर वल्नरेबल, एंड ऑनेस्ट वल्नरेबिलिटी विल ऑलवेज अट्रैक्ट पॉजिटिव रिस्पॉन्स फ्रॉम अदर्स. पर अगर आप अपनी कुछ वीकनेसेस छुपाने की कोशिश कर रहे हैं, वो आप अपने आप से छुपा रहे हैं, तो उसको तो डील करना पहले अपने आप से करना पड़ेगा. अपने को समझाना पड़ेगा, अपने को समझना पड़ेगा कि ये जरूरी नहीं है.
तो मैम
राइट?
ये संवेदनशील होना अच्छा है या बुरा है?
अच्छा है, इसमें बुराई क्या है? कोई बुराई नहीं
ओके.
है.
हाँ.
आप बच्चे को देखिए, लुक एट अ न्यू
हाँ.
बॉर्न किड, वो कितना वल्नरेबल होता है. It is totally vulnerable, but what do? We look after it, we take care of it, we nurture it, we see it grow, right? When it starts becoming independent, then our stand, our thoughts become different, isn't it?
क्योंकि जब
So,
हम भी मेडिटेट करते हैं, हम कुछ भी करते हैं, तो हम फील करने की बात करते हैं. तो जब तक हम सेंसिटिव नहीं होंगे वो चीजें हमें फील नहीं हो पाएंगी.
बिल्कुल. तो
क्योंकि फाइव सेंसेस तभी फील होंगे जब हम सेंसिटिव हैं उसमें.
जरूरी नहीं है, वैसे भी फील हो सकते हैं, एज
अच्छा.
लॉन्ग एज यू अलाइन टू द एक्सिस. आप अपने अलाइनमेंट में रहेंगे तो अपने आप फील होना शुरू हो जाएगा.
तो मतलब संवेदनशीलता इट मीन्स कि यहाँ पर जो हम बात करें ज्यादा इमोशनल होने से फिर, या.
इमोशन तो आपको अपने डील करने पड़ेंगे खुद ही ना.
हाँ
कि
जी.
क्या, कौन से इमोशंस आप दुनिया से शेयर करना चाहते हैं और कौन से आप छोड़ देना चाहते हैं, वो
मैं
तो
एक्चुअली
आपके
इसको
ऊपर.
कनेक्ट नहीं कर पा रहा मैम, संवेदनशीलता को, सेंसिटिविटी को, वल्नरेबिलिटी को. तो अभी
पर
जब करेंगे तो हो सकता है तब आ जाए.
हाँ उसमें देख लीजिएगा,
हाँ
अभी
जी।
जल्दी में नहीं बता पाऊंगी.
Ma'am, I actually wanted to tell you that sometimes at workplace it is so scary to be vulnerable because people are judging you and it might be used against you. Sometimes when you're leading a team and your teammates, you're very vulnerable to your teammates saying, "Hey, I don't know."
Hmm.
They may not respect you. They may think that, okay,
These are your
she's not.
perceptions. We live with these perceptions. There's nothing wrong that you're saying. We
Mhm.
live with these perceptions because our own barriers that we have created in our mind space do not allow us to look at the broader picture. So sometimes we feel that, they will judge me, they will have wrong things to say about me, they will sort of criticize me. So let's do the recitation now
Mhm.
and see what comes out of it. And after that, I think most of your questions will be answered and we
Okay,
can also discuss it after that. Is that okay,
sure.
Sony?
Sure, ma'am. Thank you.
Yeah. Guys, take a deep breath. Breathe in through your nose and breathe out through your mouth. Breathe in positive energy, self-acceptance, trust and belief, and breathe out all that does not resonate with you, your stresses, your worries, and your uncertainty. Breathe in, breathe out. Breathe in, breathe out. Invoke your healing master, healing guides, healing angels, your higher consciousness, radical consciousness, love consciousness, prosperity consciousness, your teachers, mentors, gurus, and guides. Seek their guidance, seek their help, seek their support to interpret and understand what self-acceptance means as you journey further in your life with ease and effortless manner, connecting to the prime resource energy. Collect all your thoughts and feelings wherever they are in the universe. See them centering and entering you. And when you feel a sense of completion, take a deep breath to absorb it. And we begin the recitation, which will be in two parts. The first will be with radical consciousness, and the second part will be with soul's love. With radical consciousness, I let go of self-criticism. With radical consciousness, I let go of self-criticism. With soul's love, I accept and embrace my imperfections. With soul's love, I accept and embrace my imperfections. With radical consciousness, I let go of the need for perfection. With radical consciousness, I let go of the need for perfection. With soul's love, I accept and embrace my unique strengths and weaknesses. With soul's love, I accept and embrace my unique strengths and weaknesses. With radical consciousness, I let go of my fear of failure. With radical consciousness, I let go of my fear of failure. With soul's love, I accept and embrace my mistakes as opportunities for growth. With soul's love, I accept and embrace my mistakes as opportunities for growth. With radical consciousness, I let go of my comparison to others. With radical consciousness, I let go of my comparison to others. With soul's love, I accept and embrace my individuality. With soul's love, I accept and embrace my individuality. With radical consciousness, I let go of negative self-talk. With radical consciousness, I let go of negative self-talk. With soul's love, I accept and embrace positive affirmations. With soul's love, I accept and embrace positive affirmations. With radical consciousness, I let go of my shame and guilt. With radical consciousness, I let go of my shame and guilt. With soul's love, I accept and embrace my past experiences as valuable lessons. With soul's love, I accept and embrace my past experiences as valuable lessons. With radical consciousness, I let go of my fear of rejection. With radical consciousness, I let go of my fear of rejection. With soul's love, I accept and embrace my worthiness of love and acceptance. With soul's love, I accept and embrace my worthiness of love and acceptance. With radical consciousness, I let go of trying to control everything. With radical consciousness, I let go of trying to control everything. With soul's love, I accept and embrace the present moment. With soul's love, I accept and embrace the present moment. With radical consciousness, I let go of self-doubt. With radical consciousness, I let go of self-doubt. With soul's love, I accept and embrace inner wisdom. With soul's love, I accept and embrace inner wisdom. With radical consciousness, I let go of fear of vulnerability. With radical consciousness, I let go of my fear of vulnerability. With soul's love, I accept and embrace openness and honesty. With soul's love, I accept and embrace openness and honesty. With radical consciousness, I let go of attachment to outcomes. With radical consciousness, I let go of attachment to outcomes. With soul's love, I accept and embrace the journey. With soul's love, I accept and embrace the journey. With radical consciousness, I let go of judgment of myself and others. With radical consciousness, I let go of judgment of myself and others. With soul's love, I accept and embrace compassion and understanding. With soul's love, I accept and embrace compassion and understanding. With radical consciousness, I let go of my resistance to change. With radical consciousness, I let go of my resistance to change. With soul's love, I accept and embrace growth and transformation. With soul's love, I accept and embrace growth and transformation. With radical consciousness, I let go of my fear of being alone. With radical consciousness, I let go of my fear of being alone. With soul's love, I accept and embrace growth and transformation. With soul's love, I accept and embrace growth and transformation. With soul's love, I accept and embrace my own company. With soul's love, I accept and embrace my own company. With radical consciousness, I let go for my need of constant validation. With radical consciousness, I let go of my need for constant validation. With soul's love, I accept and embrace my inherent strength. With soul's love, I accept and embrace my inherent strength. With radical consciousness, I let go of anger towards the divine. With radical consciousness, I let go of the anger towards the divine. With soul's love, I accept and embrace the divine's plan. With soul's love, I accept and embrace the divine's plan. With radical consciousness, I let go of feeling disconnected with my higher consciousness. With radical consciousness, I let go of feeling disconnected with my higher consciousness. With soul's love, I accept and embrace my higher consciousness, trusting its guidance. With soul's love, I accept and embrace my higher consciousness, trusting its guidance. With radical consciousness, I let go of feeling abandoned by the universe. With radical consciousness, I let go of the feeling of being abandoned by the universe. With soul's love, I accept and embrace the universe's support, knowing that I am not alone. With soul's love, I accept and embrace the universe's support, knowing that I am not alone. With radical consciousness, I let go of my doubt in my spiritual abilities. With radical consciousness, I let go of my doubt in my spiritual abilities. With soul's love, I accept and embrace my spiritual strength and abilities. With soul's love, I accept and embrace my spiritual strength and abilities. With radical consciousness, I let go of feeling lost in my spiritual growth. With radical consciousness, I let go of feeling lost in my spiritual growth. With soul's love, I accept and embrace my transformation and evolution. With soul's love, I accept and embrace my transformation and evolution. Now take a deep breath to absorb these messages. Feel them, sense them, entering you in your mind, body, and soul, and every cell and fiber, tissue, muscle, organ of your body. And when you feel a sense of completion, take another deep breath and recite with me. I peacefully progress in my life, making self-acceptance a way of life. I peacefully progress in my life, making self-acceptance a way of life. I peacefully progress in my life, making self-acceptance a way of life. Take another deep breath. And when you are feeling fulfilled and complete, you can open your eyes. Take your time. Everyone feeling okay? Any thoughts, any feelings, any questions? You're welcome, Bina. Yes, Neha, you can continue. You can ask me your question.
Yes, ma'am. At that time when I asked you the question, you said that uh, the other bit is the other person's journey and story and their
Yeah,
experience.
yeah.
What I have got as a response is that the psychological shift for that person is a lot to go through
Mm-hmm.
after they have seen the shift and transformation in my behavior.
Mm-hmm.
And that again has become a reason for abandonment. So
Mm-hmm.
fear of abandonment is there. Uh, but what I don't know to do is how to provide support for their psychological shift to accept the change in me. I know that is not my place to do it. I just continue doing my work. But, just staying confused is not the answer. I mean, I feel like somewhere I just need to, I can't just say, you keep at it, keep at making the shift. It's not their language. It is what we talk, what we do. So it's not coming that easily for the opposite person. So what
Mm-hmm.
is it that I can best do without it creating further entanglements?
So do not get into the entanglements. When I say if there is a reason for people to lose their temper or accuse you or whatever else may be in your space that is coming from them, it is not part of you. So if you keep accepting it and reacting to it, you are feeding into their negative energies to be expanded further. What you can do is accept and embrace that this is their story right now. This is where they are. And gradually, if they really matter to you, without having expectations and with detachment, you have to learn to let go. And letting go doesn't mean leaving the person. It means that their story, they will learn to handle it. And it normally happens. If you notice, suppose two people, one person comes absolutely angry and raging at you. Okay. So once they come and do that, and suddenly you start smiling or laughing, and the other person gets more angry. How dare you laugh at me? But you
Hmm.
continue to laugh. After some time, what happens? The other
They will
person
also
also
laugh
starts
at you.
laughing,
Yeah, yeah.
right? So this is a very basic example of how you can. I'm not saying you should laugh at them, but know that this is their story. They are coming from their space. Over time, they will accept it and come to it. Each person is wired differently. Each person's responses are different. Each person's behavior is different. So you don't try to be a kind of person who's going to heal them. You can't heal anybody. You can only heal yourself. And when you heal yourself, when you bring in therapies to yourself, when you start aligning to your, consciousness, when you cleanse up and clear up your chakras, there are many things that start shifting around you. And you will start experiencing it once you just do not allow yourself to be impacted by what is being said or offered to you from the others. It'll happen, but you don't have to mollycoddle that person. Just be, whatever they say, okay, fine, you want it like this, we'll do it like this. You want this? Okay, that's okay. Can I suggest this? May I offer this? I mean, I don't know your story, so that's all I can tell you right now. Does that make sense? Yeah.
Yes, ma'am, it does. I just mean that when I'm doing my own shifts, like you spoke about the chakras and all, let's say the opposite person is not able to handle the shift, and because they know me a certain way, my certain behaviors, responses, and now suddenly I've become better and I'm saying, no, okay, this change. So it's too much for them to handle the
okay. That's
change
okay.
in me. So
That's
I,
okay.
I don't know how to make it easier for them.
No, you can't. That is their story. They have to make it easier for themselves. But maybe you were very volatile earlier and now you have calmed down. You can
Yeah.
keep reminding them of it. See, I was so different then and now I'm changing, no? So the change is always good. Shift is always better. How about you? Let's try it together or something like that. I mean, again, as I said, I don't know your story. So, yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Thank you so much, ma'am.
Yeah.
Thank you.
No, okay. Yes, who is
Uh,
this?
Aarti
Uh,
Beena here.
wait, Pina, wait. Who is 2ARG, Hena, Nitya, Dolly? Who am I talking
Hello,
to?
ma'am. Ma'am, this
Yeah,
is Hena this side.
Hena. Okay, Hena, tell
Uh,
me. Yeah,
yeah,
tell
yeah,
me.
ma'am. All through the recitation, I was like feeling very restless. I like itching all over my body,
Okay,
and just like my eyes were watery.
okay.
What does all this imply, ma'am?
So, somewhere these are releases that are happening. And if it is there is itching in your body, you see, itching happens when the body tries to protect itself. Like when you get, let's say, bitten by a mosquito, the instant reaction of the body is that you start scratching it, isn't it? To relieve yourself. So what happens? Itching is a form of protection that the body is trying to do because it is only used to a certain way. And here you come and you are trying to change it now. So the body starts reacting and the itching happens. It's okay. There's nothing wrong in it. And if your eyes are watery, that's also okay that you are letting go. The chakras and the body is allowing the releases to happen. There is resistance, so we don't know what is it that you are resisting, what is it that you are holding back. So that is why the clash of the two causes the itching and the watering of the eyes. But if you feel like yawning, or if you're feeling sleepy, or if you're feeling, hiccups coming, etc., all these are very good signs. This means that the body is releasing the toxic energies that are stored inside you. Yeah, Hannah?
Yes, ma'am. Then
It's
what
an
shall I do, like for
I,
bettering to make them better?
just say I find my itching. That's all. I find my itching. I find my need for itching. I find my reasons for itching. I find my resistance to let go of the itching. You can keep saying this continuously. It'll stop. It should
Okay.
stop.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Alpha. You're a student or you are only a premium member? Are
No,
you
ma'am.
also? Are
No,
you?
I'm not a student here. Yes.
Okay. You're just a premium member currently.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So R5 is a technique that we have. One of the other affirmation techniques, this is the channeled affirmations. R5 is for revive, recognize, realign, reorient, and reposition. So instead of saying all five separately, we combine it together to say R5. Okay. So if
Yes,
you
ma'am.
just start doing I R5 my itching, I R5 my itching, or I R5 my need for itching, or I find my reason for itching. Yeah, try these, and you can always come back and tell me over here. Or you can write in the circle or no, not there. You can't write there. So, but yeah, you can send me a separate message. My number will be there in the circle of peaceful
Yes, ma'am.
progress group. Okay,
Okay. Thank you, ma'am.
you're welcome. Yes, Shri.
Yeah, hi ma'am. I had a small query.
Yeah.
Somewhere I heard this that you lose touch with people when you're not on the same level. I mean,
Hmm.
is it partially true, or I mean, does it make sense?
So you mean if you lose touch with people? Yeah, sometimes people come in your life for a reason and a season. That happens. In the journey of life, there are
Hmm.
many souls which will travel with you till a certain point. Maybe they are there to bring you to a certain guidance. Okay?
Okay. Okay.
And then there are certain new people who will start getting added in your space. and you may not interact more with the people behind. It's perfectly okay. There's nothing wrong in it. As long as there is no emotion attached to it. As long as it is not causing you some kind of reaction or some kind of thinking and feeling that I should have done this, I could have done that. If it is normal, just the thought that they are not there, it's okay. If they are meant to be, they'll come back. But if you meet them and you can be as normal as possible, that's also okay. I mean, in my journey of life, I've met so many people. Some of them are no more in my space, but tomorrow if I meet them again, we'll pick up where we left off. So it's perfectly okay. Yeah.
Got it, ma'am. Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, Bina. Yeah, Bina.
Yeah, so I have this worry of uncertainty regarding my future related to job and marriage. So I need something.
Okay, so I'm giving a reading for you, Bina. This is left beloved chapter. So you have to freely love people in your relationship by addressing your inhibitions and blocks. Somewhere you may be aware of your inhibition to love. You are capable of showering much more love than what you are doing right now. You are gently reminded to let love flow freely and uninhibitedly from you in an easy and effortless manner to yourself as well as others. Allow others to feel love. Remain open to express your love and contribute in a loving manner to all those who are in the relationship with you and to one and all in and around you. So, what it is saying basically is you have to find my need for my inhibitions to love. So, marriage is part process of where emotions are involved. So, if you are very critical of any boy you're meeting or something else, or it's not happening in yourself, because maybe you are, restricting love to come into your life because you're inhibited about it. Yeah, Bina? So say,
Okay.
I find my need, I find my need for my inhibitions to love, and you can write it down. And I find my association of blocking love with growth.
Okay. I also need something with peacefully progress because that makes me feel complete.
So I just say I peacefully progress to love myself and love one and all. I peacefully
Okay.
progress to love myself and love one and all. Okay, everyone. Have a great weekend. See you next Friday.
Okay.
Bye. Bye.